Morning. I remember when I was growing up, I wanted to play footy. I joined the junior colts and bought the footy boots and the rest of the gear. I had all the attributes that someone would need to play footy. I had the will and the desire. I had the heart and the courage needed. I had the dedication to come to practice in all sorts of weather. I had everything I needed to be a great footballer, with one little disability. That in my mind was not a real problem. It was running. I couldn't run. Well, believe it or not, I was an overweight child. And when I would run around the oval during practice, I would not only be a mile behind all the others, I would be puffing so hard I would nearly pass out or at least make myself sick. And it was really difficult being a member of the team when I couldn't keep up with them and they were busy starting the next activity, like kicking the footy through the goals, and I was still back halfway around the oval trying to get my breath back. As it turned out, I discovered I can't run. I can't really kick the football either with any sort of accuracy or distance. I can't tackle too well because I just didn't like to hurt anyone. And I couldn't get that aggression either because I was just having way too much fun. In reality, I would have had to been rated as the worst football player ever. But in my mind, I was part of the team. And also in my mind, I was a good player. It must have been like those singers, on The Voice or X Factor. They just can't sing for nuts. And you ask, my goodness, can't they even hear themselves? Oh, the religious people can be a bit the same. So there's a story in Mark chapter 12. Jesus sat down opposite the place where the offerings were put and watched the crowd putting their money into the temple treasury. Many rich people threw in large amounts, but a poor widow came and put in 2 very small coins, worth only a few cents. Some people just seem to do life better than others. See, the rich people in the temple were getting rich by oppressing the poor. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer until the poor have no power left or any say at all about anything. The rich play on while the poor are left out of the game altogether. Jesus spoke about another kingdom. And it was there right in front of us. It's there now. But we often can't see it. Jesus spoke about the kingdom of God a lot of the time. And his teaching was centered around the idea that the kingdom of God was near. In the next passage in Mark 12, calling his disciples to him, Jesus said, "Truly, I tell you, this poor widow has put more into the treasury than all the others. They all gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything, all that she had to live on." How is that possible? That the poor widow put in more in the treasury than all the others? The kingdom of God is not about money or worldly possessions or power and influence. That is something only the world understands. The faith that the poor widow had was about playing the game of life up against all the others with their expensive and brightly coloured clothes. To a bystander watching on, it'd be like watching the game. It would look like this poor old widow's puffed out, can't keep up, can't kick straight. It's left half a mile behind all the others. There was one bystander, though, that saw things a little bit differently. He could see something that no one else could. Jesus saw a much bigger picture of the world, the universe, and the kingdom of God. He saw a poor widow putting in more than all the others. He saw a widow giving all she had to the treasury, knowing now she may starve. Jesus saw the injustice of what was happening that day. He saw a group of rich people putting lots of money in the treasury while letting a poor widow give all she had. They just stood back, let it happen, did nothing to stop it or even lend a hand. The rich people could have helped, and they certainly had the means, so for them there's really no excuse. The rich people could have helped, and they certainly had the means. They were the reason this poor widow had nothing left. They were the ones that could have changed the system, made a difference, at least to one poor widow's life. Maybe she wasn't the best player in the game of life. She may even have been the worst player ever. But to Jesus, she gave more than all the others. Same as me playing football. I knew I was hopeless because that's what the coach told me all the time. I couldn't get to play in a real game on a Saturday because the team didn't want me to play because they only wanted to win. They didn't understand that it was never about the game. No one even remembers who we played against or even who won. It was about each and every player on the team and what those other players did to help and support the worst football player ever. The kingdom of God is not about how well we play the game. It is about how well we help those who are struggling to play. It is about being transformed from being rich and oppressing the poor to one who stands up against the system and fights for change. When one day we stand at the final end of year breakup and award ceremony, Jesus will walk up. He'll pick out the worst player ever, and he will turn to all the others and ask, "Who helped this person?" Step forward and receive your award. Thank you for listening to me today, and have a great and blessed week.